What's crack-a-lack? And it's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back again for our third day in free agency. Today was a lot slower than the last couple of days, but today was the official day where players can actually sign their contracts. You won't see everyone sign their contracts because of the situation the situation that's currently happening here in the US of A and actually around the world. Kind of makes it hard for players to come out and have physicals. So a few of these guys might not necessarily be on that team pending those physicals. But yeah, hopefully you're staying safe, and I hope everything's going well for you. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. I'll have a 2020 NFL mock draft next week, and to go along with that will be a 2021 NFL mock draft. I'm kind of hoping some of the bigger names will kind of get signed before next week, so I can get a little more clearance. Is that the word I'm looking for? So I can get a clearer picture of what teams are exactly going to do. Like Clowney's still unsigned, Robbie Anderson's still unsigned. So hoping those guys won't make it past the weekend. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get in. Talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm talking about how they won. But I mean, the only addition they really made today, and I like this, they got Devin Kennard, the former Giants edge rusher or linebacker. 3 years, $20 million. Not a bad price. He's not an elite pass rusher by any means. He had 7 sacks, but sacks is can be a very deceiving statistic. It doesn't really tell you the whole story. It doesn't tell you how disruptive or how much pressure this guy's actually putting on the quarterback. Kennard, he only had a pass rush win rate of 10% this past season. But next to Chandler Jones, I think that's an excellent addition. Like I said, they're still winners, and we're just going to kind of go over what happened today in free agency. If you want to check out what's happened the last couple of days, check out my other videos. Atlanta Falcons, I still got them on borderline loser territory. I was talking about how sacks can be very deceiving, and I think that is so true for Dante Fowler Jr. He got a huge contract, 3 years, $48 million. Not saying he's not worth it. I'm saying he is. He's a good player. It's just a lot of his sacks were cleanup sacks. He's not as disruptive as people think they are. I still don't like the Hayden Hurst trade, giving away a second rounder, but it is what it is. Atlanta, I mean, and the thing is, for a team that was they didn't have much cap to spend. Dropping the contract like that was pretty eye-opening. Baltimore Ravens, they're still winners. All they did today was extend their punter. Hey, you got to keep your players, am I right? Then the Buffalo Bills, another team that I have as winners. They didn't really I don't think they made any acquisition. I don't think they acquired any players today. But we got a little more details on the contract. I don't like the Vernon Butler contract. I thought they paid him a lot. 2 years, $18 million. But I thought they got Quentin Jefferson on a bargain, 2 years and $13 million. I was really surprised that he had the lower he didn't make more money than Vernon Butler. Wow, man. Sorry, I'm recording this pretty late and I'm pretty gassed out. So let's talk about Carolina Panthers. I'm officially just gonna move them over to the losers. I like a couple of their moves, but I really don't like a lot of them. So Teddy Bridgewater, I like that. We talked about how that's very similar to Mike Glennon's contract, so they're not really, it's not saying that they can, it's basically a 1-year deal with a lot of the guarantees being upfront in that first season. They could really realistically cut ties with them after season 2. And then I love Trey Boston. I love them bringing him back. But outside of that, they really made nothing. They really didn't do much of anything. John Miller on the offensive line, I don't really like that. Russell Okung trade, I disliked a ton. They brought in Seth Roberts. I mean, this team, for the moves they've made, really feels like that they do intend to tank. I mean, if you think about it, this is a good litmus test. Man, words are getting me tonight. But this is a good litmus test for Teddy Bridgewater. If he could actually succeed through, this perseverance he's going to be facing with a team that's not necessarily, it's not a bad team, but obviously they really made no moves, in my opinion, to become better. So if he could succeed in that environment, I think he's got the right coaching staff there. I think it's tailor-made for his skill set as a passer. So I'm not saying that they're going to be tanking next year. I'm intrigued. Chicago Bears, they're losers. Despite the trade today, I don't hate them trading for Nick Foles, giving up a fourth rounder when they're already limited on picks. But when you bring in a guy, it's not like they tried bringing in. It's not like they're bringing in Phillip Rivers or, oh gosh, name on the tip of my tongue, Teddy Bridgewater, even though they did try. But or it's not even like they make a move for Cam Newton. I feel like Nick Foles is a guy that is there for competition for Mitch Trubisky, not to unseat him as the starter. Even though I definitely see Nick Foles at some point being the starter next season, and I think he can actually really do well in that role. He's get back there with Nagy, so that's a positive. But I don't think this is a move to replace Mitch. I think this is one to try to push him in. For me, the Mitch train has said goodbye at the station. I missed it. Bengals, I got them on the verge of losers. They made no significant moves today, but the more I look at that Trey Waynes contract, the least I like it. They paid a lot of money for him, and I like the DJ Reader sign in, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have made a lot more moves than they did, given how much cap they had. Cleveland Browns, they're still winners to me, and I love the additions today of Carl Joseph. I like BJ Goodson. It's a solid pickup. He's going to be a good depth piece, but Carl Joseph, after they lost essentially all their safeties this offseason with Randall and Morgan Burnett and who was it? Justin Burris. I imagine Carl Joseph is coming in on a pretty short-term deal, more like a prove-it deal, but we don't have the details of that just yet. But I really, really like that move, and now I think I just love the direction Cleveland is headed in. And then the Dallas Cowboys, they didn't do much today, but they're still winners to me. They re-signed Anthony Brown, which I thought was pretty clutch, and then they re-signed their kicker. We got the details of the Gerald McCoy deal, 3 years, $18.3 million. I don't think that's a bad deal at all for a guy who's at this point of his career, he's more of a two-down defensive interior player. Denver Broncos, man, chalk it up to them. They're winners. They're big-time winners. I can't believe. First off, I know I said that DeAndre Hopkins trade was just dumb, and this isn't on par with it, but I think it's just as dumb. I can't believe that the Titans gave away Jarrell Casey for not a 7th round pick this year, but next year. Basically free. They just wanted to unload his contract. That is such a good get for the Broncos. I love the move, and they've done very well this offseason. Good on you, Bears. Detroit Lions, I have them moving into the so-so or the kind of question their offseason. I don't think they're essentially losers. I like the Danny Shelton deal, 2 years, $8 million. He's a solid zero tech. Desmond Trufant, man, they got him, I thought, reasonably cheap. I think he's still number one corner. Granted, maybe a lower tier number one corner in the league, but still, nonetheless, a number one corner. Kind of leads you to believe Darius Slay is probably going to be traded away, but who knows? Maybe they'll go in with both those guys. Harmon, I thought they got him for pennies, so got another former Matt Patricia guy. I like it. And then the Packers, they continue to do nothing, so they'll stay in this middle column. Houston Texans, you already know, man. They've had a terrible offseason. Bill O'Brien, I don't know what you're doing, homie. Yeah, terrible GM, and I feel like you're going to be losing your coaching job soon. This was a pretty bad offseason. They brought back Vernon Hargreaves, which is whoop-de-doo, you know. Indianapolis Colts, I still have them here as winners. I think they went out, they did what they wanted to do. They're going to be able to compete next season essentially in a division where I think the Titans have gotten worse. Or at least I just don't think the Titans handled this offseason that well. But I think they're going to be competitive with them. The Texans, we've seen that. I mean, I don't know. I still believe in Watson, so maybe. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, it looks like they're in complete rebuild mode at this point. So I think they did a good job getting Rivers. They brought in Buckner. Granted, they gave up that first rounder, which was kind of, but I don't mind it. So I like it. I think they're going to be very competitive next season. And then Jacksonville, speaking of the devil, I like what they've done. They were able to get a fourth rounder for Nick Foles, so now they're going into the draft this year with two extra fourth rounders and a fifth rounder. I love the Denard deal. They got him for real cheap, and they brought in Rodney Gutner on a 3-year deal. So they're trying to fill holes as they can. Then the Chiefs, they still sit here. I moved them a little bit more in the so off season just because they haven't done nothing outside of tag Chris Jones and hopefully maybe get that extension. Raiders, man, they're winners, man. They, like I said, I love the deals they've been making, and they got Eli Apple, which I think is an excellent pickup. I still think this allows them to go corner at some point in the draft, whether it's in one of the picks in the first round or in the third. So I like it a ton. You got still Trayvon Mullen there, so that could be a pretty decent tandem. But I expect them bringing in more corners because when you got to face the Chiefs, you need a lot of good corners. And on top of that, speaking of the Chargers, I still have them sitting here as winners. Looks like they're gonna go with Tyrod. Maybe they will draft somebody this season. I don't know. Maybe they still. Again, I know nothing about. I don't think anybody does about Easton Stick. We never really got a chance to see him outside of preseason, so I don't know how he's developing. Maybe they're confident in him being the quarterback of the future. Maybe he's going to compete with Tyrod Taylor. I don't think that'll be the case, but it looks like they will not pursue veteran quarterbacks, so they might in the draft. But they picked up Linval Joseph, solid run defender at this point in his career. And then Chris Harris, which I question this deal a little bit because I think Chris Harris his best days are behind him on the outside, so he might just be he's still going to be one heck of a slot corner, but they kind of already have that in Desmond King. So it kind of confuses me there, but I don't mind them picking up quality players. Los Angeles Rams, I have them still as losers. They weren't able to really get done what they wanted to. They couldn't retain Fowler, so they brought in Leonard Floyd, whoop-de-doo, on a 1-year deal. They brought in Ashawn Robinson to replace Michael Brockers. And then they were able to get Whitworth. It looks like it's a 3-year deal, but I imagine that's going to be front-loaded to where maybe they can get out of it after a year or two. And then they also brought back Blythe. So it's just for the Rams, they weren't able to achieve what they wanted to. Or at least that's how I feel. Miami Dolphins, I got them in the winners section, man. I just love their picks. I love Ted Karras. 1 year, $4 million. I thought he was going to actually break the bank in this offseason. It kind of blows my mind they were able to get him so cheap because I thought he had a very good year. He's been a solid bench player, rotation player there for the offensive line in New England. So I thought he was going to get a big deal somewhere, especially with considering the center position, it wasn't all that great last season as a whole. So I'm really surprised to see him get this proven deal, but I like it a ton. I think they've increased their, or at least their offensive line already looks vastly better. And I'm still not a fan of the Eric Flowers thing. I don't think I will be until it pans out. Minnesota Vikings, I got them in the middle column still. They added Michael Pierce. I like that, but I thought they were kind of okay at in the interior because they got a couple of younger guys, mainly Armon Watts, who I'm pretty high on. So, okay. Don't know the specifics of the deal, though. New England Patriots, I still have them here as losers. They're making really no no moves that suggest that they're going to try to win. I mean, they tagged Thuney, but now with Brady out of town, maybe they want to turn that into some picks. McCourty, he's really there just for the next 2 years. And they signed what? They signed Bird. They signed Bo Allen. I don't know. Just don't know, man. New Orleans Saints, I got them here just sitting in the middle, man. They were able to bring Malcolm Jenkins, and I told y'all Malcolm Jenkins was going to get cut since he wanted more money. I told y'all in the, what was it? My little off-season video for the Eagles. Some of y'all doubted me. I don't think y'all doubted me. I just think you were in denial. You didn't want it to be true. Truth hurts sometimes. Joking, of course, but 4 years, $32 million. That's kind of ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he's really good, but I think at this point, the Saints they're obviously in win now mode, and I don't think a sign-in like Malcolm Jenkins is a sign-in for the future. So yeah, they spend more money, and their cap's gonna be tight again next season. And the Giants, I still got them here as losers. All they did today was add Cam Fleming, which I don't mind. 1 year, $4 million. I think that's a solid deal. The New York Jets, I have them again, the borderline loser, but I'm starting to like it, like what they've done a little bit more. I know some of y'all can see the upside, at least athletically, for George Fant, but the guy hasn't produced at all in the NFL. Production, man. That for me, production's always the first thing. Okay, you could have all the athleticism, all the upside, all the physical tools at your disposal, but if you can't turn that into production, then who cares, So I don't know, maybe the details of the deal allows them to get out of it after a year or two, but I doubt it. And you know what? I get it. They needed somebody, so they're going out on a limb. You can't hate that. They brought back Brian Poole on a pretty cheap deal. Just they gave him 1 year, $5 million on a prove-it deal. I like that. I like that a lot. And McGovern and Alex Lewis, I think, were solid. They got the right money to bring him back. So I don't hate the Jets. I don't hate their picks at all. I just thought it could have been maybe better. Philadelphia Eagles, man. I got them in the losers category. I know I've been I just toying with this because I don't think they've gone out and actually tried to address what they needed to. Receiver and corner. They've ignored it. They brought back their own guys at safety with Jalen Mills, who they're going to convert to safety, and then McLeod, and those guys were a part of the same lackluster cast from last season, so you're not improving the secondary. And then again, the Hargrave thing was like, I like the sign-in, but I question why when you're already kind of deep on the defensive line, but I get that's kind of like the Schwartz way. But yeah, Steelers, they're still losers. It ends up being a 3-year, $9 million deal for Derek Watt. I really hope they utilize the heck out of him. San Francisco 49ers, almost bumbled my words there. They're winners, man. They're winners, dude. I think they've killed it. I mean, outside, I think they gave Jimmy Ward a little bit too much money, but that is what it is. I like them bringing back Ben Garland, an older veteran who played extremely well last year. Brought him on a real cheap deal. 1 year, $2.5 million. Seattle Seahawks, I got you here. Borderline losers. I don't like their moves today. They brought back Bruce Irvin, which is like, okay, whatever. BJ Finney, I think he's a solid bench, solid rotation guy. That's about it. And then they brought the cast off from the Jets, Brandon Shell, 2 years, $11 million. Yes, they're not paying him a lot, but is he really gonna move the needle at offensive tackle? I don't think so. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since I got them hanging where I had them yesterday. They're sitting there right on the line between and whoa, you did good. I don't know why I described it that way, but yeah, I guess I want to kind of wait and see what other moves they make at this point. But I know on paper the Tom Brady pickup looks phenomenal, but again, I had questions yesterday. how will he fit in a Bruce Arians scheme? Because Bruce Arians, he loves intermediate to long routes. He'll throw in screenplays occasionally, and that's not Brady's bread and butter anymore, you know? So, I don't know, I'm intrigued. Tennessee Titans, I put them at the loser category because they traded away Casey Jarrell for a 7th round pick. Or Gerald Casey, excuse me. I'm so flabbergasted that I'm just can't get it right. A 2001 7th round pick. One of the best interior players, a top 10 interior player in the league. And you just give him away. I get they're trying to free up cap space. We got to sign Derrick Henry. You didn't need to make this move to re-sign Derrick Henry. I think they've just went about this offseason wrong. I like the Vic Beasley deal. I like the Dennis Kelly deal. But they should have franchised Ryan Tannehill. And if they really wanted Derrick Henry back so bad, they should have got a deal done. Because it would have been a heck of a lot cheaper than what you're going to pay for Ryan Tannehill, apparently. Just not a fan. And then the Washington Redskins, I'm putting them in the loser category just because they've done a lot to fill up their holes. And I get it, this is not a very Dan Snyder offseason, which is interesting. They've done a lot to fill up holes on their roster, and Dan Snyder likes to make that big splash free agent signing, you know? Landon Collins, anybody. I mean, but you know what? They've brought in some quality players. They brought in Nate Orchard and JD McKissick, who's going to essentially be the new Chris Thompson. So I don't mind it. They brought in Sean Davis on a pretty cheap deal, 1 year, $5 million. So it's a proven deal. So I don't hate their moves, but I really, with the cap space they had, I really wish they went for at least one of those big free agents, whether it was Amari Cooper, which I heard they were going for him. I heard they actually offered more than the Cowboys, but Amari just ended up taking less money to go to the Cowboys. Yes. 5 years, $100 million apparently is less money. But I would have liked it if they maybe went out for like a Byron Jones, you know? I think he would have been really great in this defense. Jack Del Rio and Riverboat Mike. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead to the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And again, I'll be pumping out content pretty consistently this week. Hopefully some stuff gets done. I want to get like my final grades for the free agency class. But yeah, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.